Yeah, hello there. This is Emmanuel from Revstar, and today I'll be showing you how to customize your store as a Revstar merchant, right? In your dashboard. So let's go in straight up. So in Revstar there are two ways of customizing your store, but that is entirely dependent on if you use a default theme or a custom theme. The basic difference between default theme and custom theme is that theme that you actually up, you did not select any custom theme, and oftentimes any custom theme, and oftentimes custom themes are always paid. But then, in Revstar, we have about two themes that are free, right? Two custom themes that are free. So these are premium themes. You have for fashion, this for fashion, and also this is more like for working fashion stuff, and this is more like a boutique feel, right? For starter, and you have the fashion boutique too. You have this for starter, probably if you're into fashion as well, right? Or anything that you sell. And if probably you're into market FMCG stuff and the likes, you have these two, right? And if you're into electronics, gadgets, you can go with this. And if you're into something like jewelries and the like, right, you have these too, and on and on like that. So how do you get there? You can, from settings, right, go to customization, and from customization you see this. The easiest way to know if you're on default theme or on custom theme is that when you check this button, right, here in the modern, when you check this button, it is blurred out. That tells you that you are on default theme. There is nothing to switch. And from here you can go ahead and do some customization of colors, right? You can change colors. Let's check our storefront. So you see this, you have blue. When you over, it is always blue, right? You have this. So let's do something. Say let's change it to you know like yellow, right? And our as the secondary color is what is green. Let's click this. So you have this, right? You have this detail here. But first, let's update this and let's see what we have. So that has been updated. Now refresh this page, and when you over on any of these, right, you see it has changed to yellow. It's as simple as that, right? It's as simple as that. You have this, and more like the accent has actually changed. So basically, everything you have here has changed, basically, right? So you have this, including your button color and the safe color, everything. You have this. So virtually everything has changed. Now, say you want to update the text, right? You want to update the text on this page. Say you want to update this text, you want to update this, right? Or you want to update this text here, right? The easiest way to go about it is this is, when you click customize here, you have it is basically for color, typography, right? More like the font you want to use, right? The body font you want to use, right? Button, the kind of button you want to use on your website, right? So that's the way it looks. But to easily, to quickly change text, this text, right? Change text, or probably you want to use slider here. What do? You go over to manage store here, right? And go over to store information. Store information. This is where you go, this is where you change everything. And and you can change this console to something like expert consultation, right? And the description that shows here, this, tell it to the world, right? Is what you set here. We book, you can just say we book expert consultation ranging from marketing, you know, software development, right? You know, fashion overhauling, stuff like that, right? So you have this, right? Okay, that's I need to So when you update this, it automatically updates as soon as you fill it. You don't need to click any save. It automatically updates and you refresh. When you refresh this and you scroll down, you have this here. You see that? So you have expert consultation, you have this. So you are good. You're almost there. So what do you do again? You have your phone number. You can do 234 8100000, right? 00. Yeah, right. And for your address, you can say house zero, right? Street one, city, state. You have that saved automatically. And when you refresh again, you know, as you refresh, you have your information, saved up. And, gradually, when you go to store logo, you can update your store logo here, right? You can select any logo from here, right? You can select, let's do this. Let's update our store logo. I actually use the same logo here, right? So it's basically the same logo, right? So you can use your own store logo, right? And you have the hero background image. The hero background image. Let's look for background image for websites. Okay, let's do this. Okay, this is okay. Just a moment. Let's use the usage right, creative. This is the creative one. Okay, let's use this creative background. Right. So you can change your hero image here. Yeah, that's the image we just downloaded, the creative background image there. You can change it. Once you change it, go back and refresh. Did you see that? So you have this here, you have expert consultation, right? We make your day worth it. Our surprise parties are ready, just stuff like that, just to customize it. And and you may be wondering that what do I use the tagline here for? Catch a one for you, right? On your store here. When you over on this link, you have that. That's the tagline there. Catch a one for you. It's basic optimization, right? So that people get to know what you do. And when you look at this section, this is the section where you can control this, right? You have this. We have make your day worth it, right? So you can type in anything. Whatever you type here is what shows here, right? Is what shows here. And for your background overlay opacity, let's scale it to 80 and let's see what we have. Remember, we scaled it from 15 to 80, right? So you have this. Let's make it 100 and let's see how it looks. And you see that it gets darker along the line. It gets darker gradually. But let's take it back to 15. Right. So, and another beautiful part about this, about using default theme, is that you can use slider, right? Instead of this static image, right? You can use slider. And how do you use it? You can use this. So once you enable slider, right? Once you enable slider, right, you have this feature. So, and now that I've enabled it, let me refresh this page and let's see what we have here. So you have slider automatically updated. You have this. When you click next, you have this. When you click next, so let me just add the image we downloaded earlier, right? So that we will not miss out on the slider. And you can move any image from one place to another. Probably if you want this image to come first, all you just have to do is click this, right? Click this, click here, and you are good. Okay, I'm going to have to refresh it. Okay, let's enable it and disable, and let's see if that works. Yeah, you see that it actually works. So all you just have to do is enable and disable it, and you're good to go, right? So basically, that's how that's how you customize on on default theme, right? Now let's go over and use and do custom theme, right? More like premium theme. So and how do you activate premium theme? Let's say I want to use, you know, I want to use this, right? Starter, right? All I just have to do is come over here and click activate. And as you see, from activate, it changes to what? Customize. And when you go back to free theme, right? This is now, you can now click this to reset to default, right? So that's how you activate premium theme. And how do you customize premium theme? I told you that if you want to customize default theme, all you just have to do is come over to store info and do your customization. And another thing to mention is maybe you have your about page here, right? The information you want to show here, this is your about page here, right? So you can go over to about page, type in the section, the section title, the hero description, right? You see this? You see what we have here? So we have this is the hero description right there, right? The about content, right? You have this content here for the past 10 years, right? You have that there. And the about section image, we added this. The same thing, that's what shows there. And you have these two, you have your core values that you can also update, right? You have your core values, you have your background hero image right there, then you have your values, right? You can update your values, you can update your values here. So that's how you do the about us page. Now, and before we go over to to the custom thing, I want to show you something too on mobile, right? Sorry, on web app, you can decide and say I want to have an about us page, right? But if you prefer, you can disable it, you can hide it, and click save, right? And what does that do? When you go back and you refresh this page, it tells you that the page is not what is not available, right? It tells you the page is not available, and what does it do? It removes the page from your navigation, both in the header and also here in the footer navigation. So you can remove the about page if you think that you are not ready for that right now. And also shop by category, you can enable shop by category. And what does shop by category does? What does it do rather? What does shop by category do? Let's save this and let me show you. When you go back to your dashboard, sorry, to your website, we already have this, right? Because you see that the layout of your website has changed because we already switched to to the what's it called, to the premium theme, right? So you have this here, shop by category. Because you enabled it, you have this one, two, three, four, five, right? So when you disable it, when you disable shop by category, right, what happens? When you refresh, what do you have? It disappears. It no longer shows, right? And when you enable what customers say, when you enable this, it still doesn't show. Why? Because you have to set the review here, right? You have to set it up here. And once you have set it up, it does not just automatically show on on premium team, because while customizing premium team is something you still have to do. And you have in your footer, we are going to the premium team, customization, but I just want to show you something. In footer, you have refund policy. This is refund policy here. And how do you set refund policy? All you just have to do is come over here, right? And type the title, right? And that's it. And you can add another link. You can call it delivery. Deliveries are based on the location of the customer, but completed within 24 hours working day, right? And you save. When you save, and you go back here and you refresh your page, what do you have? You have delivery here, and when you click it, the same thing appears. Deliveries are based on the location of the customer. There should be L there, right? But completed within 24 hours. Okay, let's just quickly fix that, right? Within, there is G in within, we're not supposed to be, right? So you have that, right? And you must have probably observed that I have this up here, right? I have this up here. You can go ahead and you can go ahead and just disable this. It's called announcement, right? Announcement. When you disable it, announcement automatically disappears. And another beautiful part is once announcement disappears, your header becomes sticky. Your header becomes sticky, right? So once announcement disappears, your header becomes sticky, but then you can still enable it, and it goes back to moving like this. But if you want it to be static, you can just click static and it stays like this, right? So it does not move, and you can always update the background of the whole thing. Let's check this, right, and say we want it to be black, right? Say we want it to be black, and once you do that, what do you have? Let's see what you got. See that? Book a business strategy appointment with me for as low as 10,000 naira. School, right? As simple as that. So let's go over to and to customizing a store, right? To customizing your store as a custom. Most of our merchants are actually using custom theme, and I want to show you how to do that. But okay, let's go there. So like I said, right, you have this, and you have your premium theme here activated, right? When you go over to free theme, you can always go back to default theme. If you think default theme is easy, the beautiful part about default theme is default theme comes with your product automatically on, but on custom theme, right? You have to add it yourself, because custom theme, premium theme is basically, okay, this is what I want to show on my website. It's as simple as that. So how do you customize in custom theme? When you go over to customization, you come to premium themes, right? And from premium themes, you go over to customize, right? When you click customize, I would advise you do this on your desktop, right? If you are using mobile phone, yeah, you can also do it on mobile phone, but you have to scroll down to see the updates, right? But so you have to I will advise you do it directly. So this is how you customize, a custom theme. You can just go ahead and say what appointment based services only, right? Or you can just say appointment services, right? We are here to help you run your business better, right? So you have this, and you can go ahead and say for the button, right? Button, book appointment, right? And you have the categories there. The book appointment, you can decide to link it to a straight up, to a product directly. You can link it to a product directly, right? Or you can decide and say, nope, I'm not linking it to a product. I want to link it to my shop. And you have background URL, background image URL here that you can always change. So if you have any image, let's say you want to go over to Splash, right? And search for something like appointment. Let's see if we'll be able to use this, if this works. If it doesn't work, we just have to, okay, yeah. Okay, basically, just because of our time, you can just do But if it is a paid, okay. So basically, we need, you can just go ahead, but to be able to do this perfectly, if you use mobile phone, you'll be able to upload image directly here, right? You'll be able to upload image directly here, and before you know it, you change the background color of the image, right? Yeah, so to for from Unsplash you can get any image, right? But then let's go ahead and switch this image, right? Let's go ahead and switch this image. If you don't have anything used there, this is what you automatically get, right? But let's go ahead and just switch this image to an appointment image. You have this, right? So, and when you save and you refresh and you publish, right? You can go ahead and refresh here. Did you see that? So you have this, right? An appointment based, something, right? So you can always continue. And for your category section, you know that you did not enable category there. So that's why you would see it while customizing here, but you wouldn't see it on the front, on the front page, right? So you also have featured product, but you did not enable featured product, right? So each of the section you can enable, you can customize it. You can customize this too, So all you just have to do is update the subtitle of the section, and you can as well add video banner. Let's do video banner, right? Once you click video banner, video banner shows here, right? It shows here, but you can move it up just by clicking the arrow up, right? You can move it up by clicking the arrow up. Then you have it here, right under this section, and it will be right under this section by the time you come here. And what do? You can just look for any video, dummy video. You can just say dummy YouTube video link, right? So you have this link, right? Then you enter it there. Do you see that? The video is already playing. You have that there, and you can just use something better, a dummy YT video. As simple as that, right? Yeah, here to help you. You can use anything you feel like using, right? So that's the button color. For the button color, let's change it to something yellowish, right? Then you have show control. If you want to show the control, right? This control, yeah, you can show it, right? But so that people don't turn your website to a movie or to a YouTube channel, you could just hide the control, right? So it doesn't show the control, and the video can either be contain or cover, right? And for the overlay, you can make the overlay any color of your choice. But since the video is already playing, there is technically no need to, for any overlay, right? So for the button, you can style the button to be either outline, filled. If it is filled, it is filled. If it is, outline, it is outlined here, right? If it is ghost, what do you have? It's just like this, right? So that's the beautiful part about custom. And you can customize your button style to use different style. So it can be slightly rounded, peel, right, or full rounded, right? You see that? And you can make it this, so that is how you customize your website, as a Revstar merchant. You can update the color of this background here. You can update to let's do something. So you have, okay, just a moment please. Yeah, so that we don't go entirely off brand, right? So you have this, but you can just make it something like dark, that still moves close to the brand, you know, and you click save and customize. Sorry, and publish rather. let's go ahead and refresh your page. So you have this, you have the YouTube, dummy video here. You have this, and you have these too, right? Remember the customizations we made earlier, you know. So okay, how about if I want to add more products, right? You can go ahead and click all products here. This all products, with all products, it shows you all of your products and you can move it up. You can move it up the same way you would actually, so you can move it up directly under the YouTube video. Remember, these sections we currently have them hidden, right? So you can either delete them entirely because they are hidden, right? And just leave it, have this way, and save draft. When you save draft, it still doesn't publish here. It does not publish. It only saves it as a draft. You see that? But once you publish it, what do you have? And you refresh. You have this product. All products are listed here, right? You have your product here. You can just go ahead, add your product to, add to carts, and you start. So you have that's basically how this works. And if you want to add testimonials, right? You can add your testimonials around there, right? What clients say. But remember, testimonial is currently disabled too. So you just have to, if you want to add anything that is currently disabled, how do you do it? You just have to go over to, your page, to your okay. So before I end it, you can have your newsletter, right? You can also customize. You can also go to for your shop, right? This is the way your shop currently renders, right? So if you want it to have different style, you can choose different styles. So let's choose magazine, right? And let's save and let's publish. You see that? This is how you style your shop. Your shop can have different format. This magazine, right? You have a big image, sorry, a big product card, and you have different products, right? And let's go ahead and still on products. You can enable product overlay, right? You can make it detailed. And how does that work? So you have this, right? And when you click this product, that's it, product overlay. Do you see that? You don't see any other thing. All you just have to do is close it here. That's how product overlay actually works. You have to do is close it there, right? So once you close it, you can go ahead, you can proceed to your to carts, and you can go ahead and check out the product. So that is how to customize a store as a Revstar merchant. Either you are using the default store, or you are using, sorry, default theme, or you are using the custom theme. Yeah, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. See you next time.